I have always wanted to be an artist ever since I was a child. I remember learning about the old masters in elementary school and taking all the art classes I could in high school, where I became the art teacher's protege. 3 years in a row, I received art scholarships to attend the Art Center of Los Angeles. From there, I majored in painting and drawing at UCLA. Graduate school led me to Paris, France, where I spent 7 years studying painting, art history, theory, and the aesthetics of art at the École Nationale Supérieure des Beaux-Arts, the Sorbonne University, and the Académie de Port-Royal. Before becoming a full-time artist, I was an art educator and administrator. In those days, I spent my time teaching, doing research, and publishing articles. My focus was on developing pedagogical approaches to the art of non-Western cultures with a specialization in African art. I have been a full-time artist now for 5 years. My studio is where I spend most of my time, painting, preparing canvases, building frames, working on my website. My studio provides storage space, a small library, a work table, and a corner dedicated as my painting space where you find my easel, palette, and brushes. As a representational oil painter, I like to paint things that capture and reflect my interest and sensitivities. So I create colorful landscapes, still life arrangements, portraits, animals, and figurative works. I apply paint using suggestive painterly loose brushstrokes, either a la prima or indirect. My landscape paintings are generally done plein air, even though I do paint sometimes from photographs. Here I am in the Saguaro East National Park in Tucson. The aim of my landscape practice is to capture the atmosphere and colors found at the site. I look for scenes where something sparks my interest. Initially, I do a quick sketch on paper to set out the composition and identify the dark areas. Then I start blocking in the forms, emphasizing the darks and lights. This painting, entitled The Old Mill, was done at Old Tucson, an amusement park that is often used for filming Western movies. It won second place in a plein air jury exhibition. My plein air paintings are small, ranging from 6 by 8 to 9 by 12. They should serve as studies for larger paintings, but I just enjoy them as small paintings. This 12 by 16, entitled A Magical Place, is one of the largest ones. It was done in Shelton, Washington during my artist residency at Hypatia in the Woods in March 2020. The Hypatia in the Woods artist residency allowed me to spend 3 weeks at Holly House. The residency started just as the pandemic was being declared. I was the only artist in residence at the time, so I felt fairly safe. In spite of the pandemic, it was magical, inspiring, and generally one of the best experiences I have had. One of my goals was to experience and explore the visual differences in atmosphere and color between the Northwest and the Southwest, with the aim of applying that knowledge to my figurative work. This painting, Morning Mist, reflects what I saw the first day as I hiked to the Hammersley Inlet. My still life paintings are done in series on small 6x6 or 7x7 panels. They consist of whimsical items that interest me, such as shoes, candies, etc. I paint them a la prima. I will often use them as warm-ups or as a means of studying values, form, and composition. I love red shoes, so I did a red shoe series. My barrel racer series was created after visiting the Tucson Rodeo. I focused on barrel racers because it is the main event for women. I enjoyed seeing the riders run a cloverleaf pattern around preset barrels in the fastest time. Barrel Racing, 30 by 40, and Black Beauty, 30 by 24, are 2 paintings from that series. My portraits are most often done from life. Generally, before COVID-19, I would join a group of artists here in Tucson and paint a live model for 3 hours. Since the pandemic, I haven't been able to paint much from life, so I have started painting myself using a mirror. You learn a lot about yourself through self-portraits. My figurative work is also done in series. They vary in sizes from 6 by 6 to 40 by 40 inches. However, I am eager to take on the challenge of doing a full life-size figure painting. I've already begun to prepare a 5 by 3 foot canvas using my wall as the easel. This will be a self-portrait about looking back to move forward. I work on more than one painting at a time. This way, I can achieve a consistency in style, palette, and intent. By having the 2 side by side or on the wall near the easel, I can work back and forth with ideas. These two paintings are a part of my urban street scene series that I will talk about later. While I like to paint in series, I never actually finish. I start one, then start another, and continually add to them along the way. In my cafe series, I am interested in capturing unconscious expressions and interactions of people. Au Café Mousse is one of two different paintings I did using the same photograph. A Garçon, 29 by 36, uses the same photo reference as Au Café Mousse. What inspired me were the men in the foreground with nothing on their table, indicating that the garçon had not yet attended to them. The painting, which won a Crystal Merit Award in the Gallery Ring juried competition, captures the moment of calling the waiter. The Bus Stop series focuses on isolation and how we often do not connect with each other. I took photos of random people at bus stops and then culled them together to create compositions. The Great Disconnect painting exemplifies this concept. Two people seated on a bus stop bench, each engrossed in their phones, ignoring each other's presence. The theme of isolation is present in a number of my paintings. This 30 by 32 artwork, Alone in a Crowd, is in the A1 show and explores this concept. The intent of the painting is to get the viewer to reflect upon the contradictions between being connected to and at the same time separated from others. My urban street scenes are taken from places I have visited and streets with which I am familiar, as in A Street in X on the left. Green Means Go on the right is an exception. It was done from my imagination. My passion for people drives my work. Ultimately, my aim is to communicate concepts that are universally human.